Hi, Victoria here, author of Zest for Success, owner and director of the Bookkeeper Hub and HBA Compass. Yes, still in my car, still talking about social media. Now, I mentioned it yesterday and I didn't get to it because I thought the video was going on for a little bit long, but we're talking about social media scheduling, and I am going to have to refer to the book to give you some information there because the different types of scheduling, as I mentioned, I don't do myself, my VA does, but I do know that they exist and I can tell you a little bit about them because I did do the research when I wrote the book. Now, keep in mind that there may be lots more options now than what there was when I wrote the book 18 months ago, but I'm going to tell you about the ones that I know about. So the first one is Hootsuite. That's Hootsuite, Hootsuite. Now their logo is an owl that reminds you it's hoot, hoot. I know, that's a little bit cruddy, but I had to do it. So what Hootsuite does is that you can add your social media into it, and then you can schedule posts across multiple channels. So it deals with Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest and YouTube. So that's an awesome amount of different channels. You can schedule up to 350 messages. You can have a bulk scheduler, and you can actually create a calendar of what you're doing in your social media. The other thing that I do know about Hootsuite is that one of the ladies who does our social media at HBA and Compass, she often keeps Hootsuite open on one of her screens because it brings up the feeds of those social medias. So you can have different profiles. So for instance, she will have the Facebook feeds for HBA and Compass and the Bookkeeper Hub open at the same time. There'll be different columns that go across the page. She'll have their Twitter, she'll have their YouTube or whatever it happens to be. And at different times during the day, she can just flick into Hootsuite to see what's going on. So yesterday I was talking about the need to get in there and comment and be relevant to people in real time. She can go in when she's finished a task, or she can put a reminder in her calendar for every 2 hours or whatever it happens to be, or come in the morning, check it before lunch, check it after lunch, check it before you go home, whatever it happens to be that suits the way that you work. But she can just pop up to Hootsuite and check all her social media channels in one glance, rather than having to log into each one individually and check what's going on and comment. So interesting. Another thing that we have found with that if there's a comment or a thread that's getting a lot of feedback in one of the channels, you can automatically then put a post out from Hootsuite across the others going, hey, there's a great conversation on our Facebook page about setting up a Xero account or whatever it happens to be. Check it out with a link, and then try and drive people back to whichever channel is going off its nut. So Hootsuite's a really valuable tool. There are many different versions of Hootsuite. Now, when I say versions, I'm not talking about different products of how you use it, but more different levels of ability. So there is a base version, a free version, and then it goes up, I think it's to $10 a month or something like that, depending on the number of channels that you've got in there at one time. So the more channels you use, the more you pay. And a prime example of that is if I were a social media agency where I were managing social media for all my clients, I could have hundreds of different channels up there. So I would obviously pay more to Hootsuite than a sole trader who's just got Facebook and LinkedIn or something like that. So Hootsuite's very valuable and very useful. Another one that I found useful was Social Oomph. That's OOMPH. So it has a free and a paid version. It allows you to schedule. It uses Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Perk, and blog. So Perk must be another social media channel which I've never heard of, but it does use it. And its real niche is that it allows you to auto-follow people. So you can actually set up rules, I suppose, to stalk people on social media and follow them, or particularly with Twitter, if there's someone who's coming in and adding something to a tweet or sharing a tweet, you can set it to automatically follow these people, which can make your connections broader. The next one is one that's specifically for Twitter. It's called Tweepy, and it's a paid service. And it is a cleanup tool, and it also allows you to reciprocate by following. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is that you can go through and it will automatically clean up people that you're following that you're not connecting with after a certain amount of time, or you can automatically, if someone follows you, you can set it to automatically follow them, so you've got a joint connection. The next one is Spreadfast, which is about sharing of posts, and it works best on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Flickr. Buffer is very similar. It allows you to schedule Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Google+. And the last one I'm going to mention quickly is a thing called Bitly. Now, Bitly works with Facebook and Twitter, and it is a service that allows you to shorten web domains. So, for instance, if I wanted to send you something and send you to my Fixit service, it would say www.bookkeeperhub.com.au/services/fixit. Now that's really long, and if you've only got 140 characters on your Twitter feed, or you're doing some Facebook ads where you can only have, I think it's 20% of the page covered by words, you don't want to take up all that space. So by using Bitly, it will create a shortened version of whatever your web domain is, and you insert that into your post, which then, if someone clicks on it, takes them to their link and gets the whole details and forwards it to where you need to be. So Bitly is a very useful tool, useful for social media, particularly for Twitter and Facebook ads, but also useful in everyday life if you don't want to have a big long trail of whatever it is that the destination is that you're trying to send people. So that's a bit about social media automation. As I said, love and use Hootsuite, but there's heaps and heaps of them out there. There's always new apps coming out all the time. The best suggestion I've got for you is to Google social media automation and pick the ones that are relevant to whichever social media channel that you're using. Perhaps start off with a free trial if possible, or a free service, and if you need to, work your way up to a paid service. Because as you know, I'm an accountant, I'm a bit of a cheapskate, that I like to try and keep business costs under control at all times. And social media, if you are not very careful, all the different apps and things that you can use and just different apps in your business can add up really quickly. So where possible, if it suits your needs, go for a free version and then expand it should you need to. So that's all I've got about social media automation today. I'll see you on the other side.